What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today I got a special one for you. As you can see behind me here, I got my buddy Mike's Civic Type R. He's actually going to be driving my Elantra N for the first time and giving us all his first impressions. So we're going to talk about his car here for a little bit, and then we're going to let him hop into my car. I will hop into his car at a later video. Check out on his channel. I'll put a link to his channel below, so be sure to check that video out as well. Show him some support. And for now, let's get into Mike's car, and he's going to give us a little bit of details about his Civic Type R. So this is my buddy Mike's 2018 Civic Type R. Now, as you can tell just from a quick glance, this thing is nowhere near stock. So I do not know all the list of modifications. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass this over to Mike so that way he can give you a full list on everything that he has done to it.
We got some ESR SR01 wheels. It's dropped on a BC suspension setup. It's pretty stiff, so I've been happy with the ride quality so far. So going inside, not anything much crazy in here. We got the Acuity Stage 3 shifter kit. Just a little bit more carbon fiber accessories, nothing crazy. Most of the car's mods are on the outside of the vehicle or in the engine bay. So this is Downforce Solutions Extreme rear diffuser. I really liked the look of it. I believe it's their evil fin design. They only made a few of these. I believe the set is discontinued right now, so I'm super happy I got it. Kind of just completes the look of the back end. Just really complements everything else along with the car. As you know, you look toward the side, we got the extended side skirts. Those are from Aeroflow Dynamics. Just to kind of complement the width of the vehicle, kind of matches the stance of the car as well as the front lip. So back behind here is our Miltech exhaust system. I got the race version, which means there is no resonator, there is no silencer. We paired it with a PRL catless race downpipe, which is also discontinued because of the EPA, unfortunately. It's really, really loud. Little bit of rasp to it, just like all the normal Hondas will have, but overall I really like it. I enjoy it. Cruising at 2,000-3,000 RPMs, a little quiet, and then as soon as you get on it, it really opens up. So mod list, the first thing I did to the car was the Venturi intake. It's a full carbon setup. It's got a secondary inlet pulling air from the inner channel underneath the wheel well. We paired it with the PTP turbo blanket along with the PRL catless downpipe. We're eventually going to change this inlet pipe to the Venturi setup. I know it's the stock is a 63 millimeter inlet, and the Venturi is, I believe, a 76 or a 79 millimeter change, just to allow a lot more airflow and just kind of free up the turbo.
Now, Mike, you also mentioned you got your car tuned and dynoed. What did it run, and who tuned your car?
So the most credible source in the FK8 community in terms of dynoing and tuning these cars is Derek Robinson. He's over in Carlisle, PA. We dynoed this at 365 horsepower, 365 foot-pounds of torque, and an increase in boost pressure. We went from 23 or 24 to about 28, 29.
Gosh. So you said 365. Now that's to the wheels, right?
That's to the wheels.
To the wheels and factory. What are the numbers for this factory?
So he did. What was cool about Derek, he ran a factory tune, so that doesn't accommodate for any of the mods you do. It ran 298 horsepower and I believe 295 foot-pounds of torque.
Okay.
So it's not far off. They advertised this as 305.
Oh, wow, that's definitely impressive. Similar to the Elantra, which they advertise at 276, which also dynoed at 276 or 280 with the NGS. So very similar boat with the Civic Type R as far as their advertised wheel horsepower.
And I will say, this is the first Elantra N I've ever seen in person. We're in Cleveland, Ohio right now. I've not seen one of these on the road. I've seen the regular Elantra, you know, maybe the old Elantra Sports even, but this is the first N that I've seen, and just cosmetically, I mean, I know Brandon hasn't gone completely off the wall here yet. I'm sure he will. But overall, I really like the color. I know he told me he was going to go with blue, and I was like, oh man. But after seeing it in person, I mean, the color really pops. And I know it's going to be hard to tell underneath these lightings, but you'll see some more videos when we remove the emblems. You'll just look at the color and you'll be sold.
Yeah, those black emblems that you guys saw in the actual last video is what made a huge difference. All right, before it gets too dark out here, we're gonna give Mike a shot to drive the Elantra N. We're gonna see what his thoughts are as far as first impressions on driving it, especially compared to his Type R. So without any further ado, let's get right to it.
Wow. Oh. All right, first impression of the seats. So the Type R has bucket seats, but these are a lot more comfortable, and needless to say, made out of a beautiful leather. If anybody with the Type R knows, the Type R has Alcantara seats, and they are a bitch to clean. I will spend 30 minutes to an hour on one seat, and it will still not come clean. So if anybody has a tip on cleaning Alcantara, please leave a comment below.
So Mike's gonna go ahead and get this thing fired up, and
like I said, this is my first time driving it. I'm really excited. Would be more excited if it was a 6-speed, but here we are.
Well, you don't like fast cars? Service in 9 days. You broke it already.
Damn. Yep, it went away. We're fine.
All right, so Mike, just to give you a quick overview on here. Well, first, we're just gonna go ahead and put it straight into N mode. So I'm gonna have you put it into my custom N mode. So go ahead and hit the N button twice.
Okay.
And then hold it down. And that's going to put you into my custom N mode. So I'm going to have you drive with the same settings that I drive with,
okay,
which is everything turned all the way up, except for the suspension is set on a little bit of a softer setting. Especially the roads in Michigan where I live and here in Ohio, they're friggin' awful.
They are really bad.
Yeah, so we're going to keep it on a little bit softer of a setting. It's a little bit darker outside, so we got the interior lights on so you guys can actually see us, but we're going to let Mike go crazy here. We're fully warmed up. We let the car warm up here for a little bit before we got to driving, and we're going to go ahead and just let him have some fun.
Oh, wow. I mean, so I didn't press the gas all the way down. I'd say I was about 70% there, and I read 270 foot-pounds of torque. Is that right?
Yeah, it has the, gosh, what is it, 280 foot-pounds of torque? No, 290 some.
So out of all of the features of the Elantra N, Brandon, what are your top 3 if you had to pick 3?
Number one is definitely
it auto downshifts for you.
Yeah,
that's nice.
It is probably number one. What I would have to say is the exhaust. The thing is the best sounding 4-cylinder exhaust I've ever, not only ever owned, but I've ever heard. And I'm not trying to be super biased here, but you guys can be a judge for yourself on what it sounds like. Give it a go. Give it a go.
Oh, shit.
Oh, my God.
So with the transmission, I'm noticing that it might just be a setting. I don't know. You tell me. It kind of hangs there. It kind of waits for you to determine what to do next.
Yeah, especially when you're in the N mode, which is technically more of like a track mode. It's going to want to keep you in a gear that is really the best RPM, best gear, as if you were on the track. So even if you do let off a little bit, it's really thinking you're going to get right back on it, and it's not thinking that you're on the street.
Okay, interesting. These pops are absolutely crazy.
It's addicting. It
sounds so good.
It is addicting, and that's why that was my number one. Going back to your question, as far as
I just want to keep going and just let off the gas just to hear them.
Sometimes it's hard to not just keep driving in this car, because it just, not only is it super fun, but the sound is addicting, and it just makes you smile.
A little bit of torque steer, but that's comes with every car with decently sized horsepower.
Going back to your top 3, I'd have to say number 2 would be the NGS button. Now, I haven't used it a whole lot, but if you want to give it a shot, it's just that red button on the steering wheel there. It's going to give you an extra 10 horsepower for up to 20 seconds. So it's almost like an overboost feature is what they call it, or really kind of like a boost button. So
okay.
Feel free to give that a shot.
Okay. Wow. This thing is just exceeding my expectations, in all honesty.
How would you say it feels in comparison to your Type R when it was stock?
I know a lot of Civic Type R owners are going to kill me for this one. This thing feels fast.
Faster?
Fast.
Oh, almost. Okay, so he said fast. But
I mean, the torque is just there. Okay. I mean, I don't know how it is in the mid-range because we're not near a highway. Does your car typically, like, I don't know, not bog down, but does the power feel less when you're on the highway?
I would say truthfully, I don't really get it on it a whole lot on the highway. I very rarely drive on the highway as it is, but I wouldn't say there's any loss of power as far as my first opinion. As far as, I mean, I only have 1,800 miles on it, but I wouldn't feel that there's much of a difference in power on the highway.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, oh my God.
God, you know it's good when your head hits the seat.
Now, Brandon, is this like the first time you've been in your passenger seat?
Not the first time, but probably the first time that someone actually is driving it the way it should be driven.
Okay, that's fair. As far as accessibility, I mean, I'm kind of seeing this kind of the same stuff that the Civic Type R has. Yours is just on a nice big screen, whereas mine is in front of the tachometer.
Okay.
So it's a little bit harder to see, especially when you're driving.
Harder to see in the Type R?
Yes, harder to see in the Type R.
Okay.
This is a lot. This is nice. It's sleek. It's lit up. It's bigger. I'll tell you that much.
Okay.
We're gonna go ahead and try this NGS button. Just
here we go. Boost, baby.
So you just press the button, or do I gotta hold it?
Go ahead, hold. Just press it once.
Oh, I see the countdown timer.
Yep. And you can press it. You can press it again if you want to save the rest of the time, because you only get to use that NGS button once every 2 minutes, and then it'll recharge, and you could use it again.
Okay. Now there's not really a lag. I'm using these paddle shifters here. It's been a minute since I've used them, but there's not a real lag with the transmission, which is really nice.
Yeah, the DCT transmission is absolutely incredible. The shift times in this car or in this transmission are way faster than any human could shift.
It's very instantaneous. I do like it. But dude, this thing is awesome. I'm thoroughly impressed. I think the one thing, it's weird not seeing, like, it's cool seeing like the numbers of the oil temp, the engine temp. Where is it in terms of parameters? Is it too hot? Is it cold? It'd be cool to see like some sort of meter.
Well, you got your 1 meter down there. So that's your your coolant temp kind of meter there.
Sure.
So as long as usually it's like right above medium is pretty typical. 210 to 220 is pretty normal on this as far as the oil temps. Right around 200 for the engine temp is normal as well. But it could go up to 240 on a hill climb or in the mountains.
Sure.
You're taking, tail of the dragon, something like that. You're going to see the higher temperatures when you're pushing the car a little bit more.
Sure. Okay.
And going back to talking about the cluster, you asked about my top three. Number 3 would probably be the whole infotainment system in here. It's just incredible with how much you can customize in here, as well as just the way it looks.
Now, I know we've been listening to the exhaust the whole time. How are these speakers in this car?
Very subpar.
Yep. That's just, it's there.
And that's why I really don't even have the radio on that often, because I'd rather hear the exhaust.
Yeah.
Those pops and bangs, man, they're addicting.
They are. This is, definitely upgraded from your last car.
Well, now what I want to ask you this, as being a Type R owner, and quick roundabout, like MSRP on your car was what, right around 45?
So MSRP was actually 34.9, but
really?
the dealership marked it up 5 or 6 grand, so I ended up paying 42.5 out the door.
Okay, so I mean, in today's market, you paid a very fair price.
I did.
Technically, probably what you would pay for one of these, or I mean, a newer Type R in today's market. Was that an Elantra N?
That might have been a white one.
I think that was a cyber gray.
Wow. I mean, I tripped the tires there. It felt really good. So from a dig, I would give this car 100 times over the Type R. If we're rolling, I mean, it'd be a close race, I think. It'd be really close.
I think this transmission alone is going to be an advantage on the Type R, regardless of power. This thing just...
regardless of driver ability, the Type R too.
Yeah, I mean, you could definitely have a difference with the Type R owner not knowing how to shift or launch, but yeah, I mean, I agree with you on the roll. I think the Type R definitely has more top end, even mid to top end on that car to kind of run away a little bit from the Elantra N, especially when you're comparing stock to stock. Wow.
That is absolutely crazy. So with the NGS button, do you even know what that stands for?
It stands for N grin shift.
N grin shift.
N grin shift, yep. Which, I mean, N is their you know,
Performance
N division,
line.
yep. But it really is meant to just put a smile on your face.
Yeah.
So that's what they say, and for the most part, I think it does a pretty darn good job of that. So I wanted to mention, we were talking about the MSRP, and in comparison, now, I mean, most of probably the newer Type Rs are probably going to be in the low 40s, maybe mid 40s.
And you're talking about the new
the
FL5?
new one. Yeah, and even if we compare, let's say, the 21 in MSRP compared to the...
Dude, they are so high.
Yeah, well, now, if you compare the Elantra N starting at around 33,000, 34,000,
Okay.
when it comes to performance per cost, or, you know, per how much money you're paying per horsepower, what do you think is a better value, just as a quick first impression on this versus the Type R?
Just knowing all the stuff that has deteriorated over the years with my car. For example, like this steering wheel, this is made out of a perforated leather, whereas the seats in the Type R, some of the interior trim pieces in the Type R, and the steering wheel is made out of a cheap vinyl leather. It's deteriorated. That's something I want to replace. Bang for your buck, I would probably pick the Elantra N over the Civic Type R.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, and that's just cost, you know, bang for buck. You know, doesn't necessarily mean everyone's going to pick the Type R, but
Right. And I know a lot of people don't like some of the cosmetic looks of the Type R.
And two totally different cars. I mean, it's definitely, you know, depending on the style you like, and it's going to probably vary a little bit on that new 2023 that's coming out soon.
So we are just coming back after my first drive of this car, and I am blown away. Just everything about this car. It's sleek. The body lines are so nice. I was mentioning to Brandon when we were taking off the chrome emblems that he said something like the body lines are all triangles, and it's true. If you look at the car, you look at the side profile, you look at the rear, even the spoiler, just everything about it is really sharp compared to, you know, the old Elantra.
Yeah.
The old Elantra was, you know, it was okay, but this is a big step up. So as far as my first impression overall, super comfortable. The seats 10 out of 10. Like, if you're a little bit heavier set, you might have a little bit of problems moving, or it might hug you a little bit too tight.
Yeah, I'm a little on the heavier side. I'm about 220, and it's a little snug, but I agree with Mike. That's probably one of my favorite things about it as well.
The fact that it's made out of a leather, are these
leather and Alcantara.
Yeah. Okay. And as far as this logo, doesn't this open up?
Yeah, once you open the doors, those both light up as well.
Yeah, I would want that.
Definitely. It's like not too childish maybe, but some people have said it's like a little quirky, but it's not too much to where it's very nice.
It's not fake. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As far as, you know, all the rest of the stuff in the car, you know, you got your typical cheap Hyundai plastic.
Yeah.
Maybe change that out with some sort of cloth, or, you know, maybe even some carbon fiber pieces. I know Brandon loves carbon fiber.
Yeah.
So
here we go.
Maybe I'll just start sending him some pieces, and maybe he'll just start putting it together.
Yeah,
so.
man, I've mentioned in the past I don't like carbon fiber all that much. I'd maybe go with a carbon fiber hood, but I'm just not into all the different colored carbon fibers because they just never end up matching.
Right. Yeah, it's hard to match the colors.
But forged carbon.
Forged is cool.
Yeah,
Forged is cool.
Expensive as hell too.
It is expensive. But
yeah, I mean, Mike, I gotta say thank you for letting me bring the car, and you cleaned it for me, and I really hope you enjoyed driving it.
Dude, it was fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, my main reason to come to Cleveland was to come see my buddy Mike, and he wanted to see the car, drive the car, so I really appreciate him spending his day with us. So he washed my car, I let him drive the car, and on his channel, again, we're going to be driving his Type R, and I'll be giving some of my impressions on his car. So with all that being said, anything else you want to add before we close this out?
No, I look forward to see what you do with the car.
And you know, hopefully next time we'll come up. I'll come up to Michigan.
Definitely, you're welcome anytime.
We'll, you know, we can roll around there a little bit. I don't know how far the racetrack is from you.
Oh yeah, we're not. That's like another 2 hours. West
Oh,
of me.
never mind. Okay.
Yeah. So, but
Okay.
yeah, but that's awesome. We'll figure something out. But again, I'm gonna be putting a link to Mike's channel. He's just starting up his YouTube channel, so show him some love. Subscribe to his channel. He's gonna be starting to put some content out there about his Type R.
Yep.
But that's gonna do it, guys. We will see you in the next video, and you guys have a great day. Peace out.
Have a great day. Peace.